Marijuana is quietly sold on street corners across the country and illegally grown in many backyards. But in California, it's sold legally. In fact, the sale of medical marijuana has become big business in the state, generating millions of dollars in sales. Just how easy is it to get a doctor's note for a medical marijuana in California? Well, we sent Nightline contributor Lisa Ling to find out.
In Los Angeles, you can buy marijuana in more places than you can get a Starbucks latte. Pot dispensaries are popping up everywhere here. All you have to do to buy pot here is get a doctor's note, and that is now little more than a formality. The list of acceptable ailments is so broad, virtually anyone can obtain a doctor's recommendation.
Dr. Frankel will be right out.
Including me.
Hey, Lisa, Alan Frankel.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Thanks for seeing me.
So
I definitely have had a lot of anxiety over the last few months. So I wanted to see whether I would qualify for a recommendation.
Have you ever used cannabis previously?
Not regularly. I have used it before.
In the past, you never had any problems with it?
No. Dr. Howard Frankel gave up a traditional medical practice to recommend marijuana full-time. How's your business been over the last 3 years that you've been doing it?
Business in the last year, certainly since the fall, has gotten a lot busier. One of the major points that I try to make to patients is that smoking is not the same as cannabis. Cannabis is a medication.
Is it pretty easy to get a recommendation?
It's not as easy as getting a Vicodin prescription, but yeah, I think it's easy, and I don't think it should be difficult.
What do you say to people who say that you are contributing to drug use?
Well, I think that's true. I think it's similar to the patients that have probably lied to me over many years for Vicodin, for Xanax, for Klonopin, for whatever. I mean, I'm trading drugs, is the way I look at it.
So would you say I qualify for a recommendation?
I think you do qualify, but I'm going to need to examine you first.
Okay.
Have you ever had problems with your blood pressure?
No. I'm pretty healthy.
Take some breaths through your mouth. You seem great.
All right. It was pretty easy. But Doc, what if I were lying and I just wanted to get a recommendation?
With the way you did, you'd get one.
Anyone who came in and said they had any one of those ailments, you would write them a recommendation?
If I felt that they were legitimate patients and together people, absolutely. And if you're lying, you know what? Enjoy it anyway.
Are you a user of it?
Yes.
Just wondering.
Definitely.
So this is your recommendation here. You can fold it up, keep it in your wallet. I keep mine with me at all times.
So it's that easy.
That's it. You're all set. You can go from here to a dispensary.
This is the pharmacy. It's one of 3 that we have in the Los Angeles area.
We are right down the street from UCLA. We're on a very public street across from a Whole Foods.
We built this store for the image of a mother and her children, adolescents being able to come in. And these are for people who don't want to inhale. And we have a certified kitchen. And it's actually kosher as well.
This is just the menu, huh?
Usually we have about 30 varieties of medical cannabis that you can choose from.
How much would this be?
Okay, our Royal Kush is $20 a gram, and this is 3.5 grams.
About 60 bucks.
We actually control the amount that they can buy. We have a maximum, and they can only...
But that's just your company.
Just us.
Okay.
Right, and that's where the other dispensaries are making a lot of money. A lot of them sell large quantities, and it's a big business.
This is a perfectly legal business in California, but federal law still treats marijuana dispensaries as drug dealing operations. So there are active firefights that go on.
Absolutely, and there are several every year all over California.
And because marijuana cultivation is illegal, growing pot is a highly profitable and highly dangerous business.
There's such a tremendous profit in these gardens that these people are protecting their value at all costs.
Laurie Smith is the sheriff in Northern California's upscale Santa Clara County.
It is confusing. In California, we wrestled a long time with it's illegal by federal law. How can it be legal by California?
How do you enforce the federal marijuana laws here in Santa Clara?
If someone has the prescription or the recommendation from the doctor, we don't enforce the law at all. we go with what California law is.
In Santa Clara County, the health department issues medical marijuana cards, while the sheriff's department is overwhelmed with eradicating marijuana farms.
It's very challenging because there is such a market for marijuana and not enough ability to produce the amount that's needed for the medicinal marijuana. Therefore, we have all of these illegal grows.
How big is the problem?
It's a huge problem. We're an urban county with approximately 2 million people, and we still have a huge number of grows.
So we just flew over this marijuana field that was eradicated a couple of months ago, and it's just over a mile away from that youth center where you could see kids swimming and playing soccer right now.
The day that we were doing the eradication, we could actually hear them over there playing.
Smith says that each plant is worth about $3,000. One recent eradication here netted 32,000 plants, a value of $96 million. Confusing times for law enforcement, but lucrative for the cannabis industry, forcing questions about whether the state should collect tax revenue from marijuana sales.
We're marijuana consumers. We want to pay our fair share.
In 2006, a dispensary run by Abraham and Winslow Norton paid the state millions of dollars in tax revenue. How much did you pay in taxes?
In a year's worth of time, the co-op paid close to $4 million just in sales tax revenue to the state.
It was the biggest cooperative in California.
So how much were you grossing?
In a 12-month period, it did close to $50 million. Close to 1,000 people a day came, and the average sale was upwards of $100 a patient.
It was a successful model that drew unwanted attention. In 2007, federal agents raided and shut down their dispensary, even though local officials had approved and permitted the operation. The U.S. Attorney declined Nightline's request for an interview about the charges against the Nortons.
You were working with the sheriff.
Definitely working with the sheriff.
Our permit actually has the signature of the sheriff of Alameda County and of the county supervisors.
And it's funny that they seized all the money or asset that me and my brother had, but they didn't request the Board of Equalization to return the money that we wrote for them.
Even though it was collected for the sale of marijuana.
Right. It all came from the same.
So they have loopholes.
The new Obama administration has dialed back raids on dispensaries. They say only operations that violate both state and federal law will be targeted. So where does that leave the Nortons?
If it's true what they're saying, we're just curious how come.
It hasn't affected our case. We're a prime candidate for someone that did not break any state or local laws.
The Nortons still face life in prison under charges filed by the Bush administration. How Obama's Justice Department deals with them could be a sign of a shift in federal marijuana policy.
What do you hope happens?
We hope that people saw that we did nothing wrong, that California sees that we were, a good help financially. Our dispensary could generate almost $4 million in sales tax revenue a year, and that's just one dispensary.
For now, as confusing as it is, it's federal law. Marijuana is illegal to buy, possess, or sell anywhere in the country.
DEA, go away!
But to many Californians, that's just dopey. I'm Lisa Ling for Nightline in Los Angeles.
And a final note from California, the La Brea wildfire, which has been burning since last Saturday and has charred more than 87,000 acres of California's national forest, has been found by investigators to have been started by a cooking fire in a marijuana drug trafficking operation. Our thanks to Lisa Ling. When we come back,